Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Friday Live. I think we've recently renamed it Live with Lou, which seems really strange saying my own name. How are you all? Are you enjoying the sunny weather? I hope you've got that too. It is absolutely beautiful here. And what better weather to have some fantastic crafting inspiration. Now, we have an absolute inspiration of mine. We have the lovely Pete Hughes from Sizzix doing live demonstrations with us today. He's going to be demonstrating Chapter 2, the Sizzix Tim Holtz Chapter 2 products. Now, if you've not seen them before, we have had them on CraftStash for a little while, so they're not brand new releases, but we have a brand new offer code for you today. So you're going to be able to get a whopping 15% off of all of Chapter 2 with a code. I'll give you that code right now, okay? If you've got a pencil, jot it down straight away. The code is SIZ, the beginning of Sizzix, SIZ 15. That's it, 15. Okay, pop that in. If you haven't got a pen, if you're thinking, I can't remember that, pop on over to craftstash.co.uk, because on the front page, the very first page you come onto when you go onto the website, you have banners that scroll through all of today's deals and offers, and on there you will find that code. So don't panic if you can't jot that down right now, but I would suggest popping over and having a look at Chapter 2 for Sizzix, but also Chapter 1 as well. The previous chapter also we have 15% off for you using the same code. Nice and easy to remember. And we have giveaways, of course. We have lots of giveaways today. We have 5 winners today, so make sure that you are commenting, sharing and tagging your friends. Any comment on both Facebook and YouTube is going to be put into the draw. You only have to say hello, by the way, nothing to answer. And if your name is picked out towards the end of the hour, we are going to be sending you not only one of Pete's fantastic cards that he's making, signed by himself. I'm sure you can sell that autograph over on some popular bidding sites for an absolute fortune, but you're also going to get a £25 CraftStash voucher in with that as well. So make sure you're entering. That's probably one of the bigger giveaways we've done for a long time, because 5 winners, we usually have 3. So tell all your friends, make sure you're sharing. Shall we go over and say hello to the lovely Pete? He's waiting in the wings. So Pete, hello, and how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Sorry, I'm just giggling at the thought of my autograph going for a fortune.
It will do.
But that's fine. That's fine. Maybe one day. Who knows? Who knows?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure.
I think we've got a little bit of a delay today, haven't we? So we're going to have a few little pauses between, but that's fine. It's a technology thing. It's fine.
We'll get through it.
It's a few seconds. Absolutely. So what are you going to be showing us there? I've already mentioned Chapter 2. If for anybody who doesn't understand what these chapters mean, could you explain it for us, please?
Yes, of course. The chapters are that's how we tend to do our releases. So Chapter 1 will be from January through to the end of March. Chapter 2 will be, so we split the year into 4. And it makes it easier for everybody to know what's coming out and so on and so forth. But as the year goes forward, we're dropping in some surprise releases as well, particularly from Mr. Holtz. So that's pretty much what it's about. But this is, as you say, the Tim Holtz Chapter 2 collection.
Oh, fantastic. Lovely. And is it Chapter 2 that has that fantastic hippo in it? Is that the one?
Oh, you like Bernice? Yes, Bernice. Of course, yes. We'll be looking at Bernice. In fact, actually, when we look at the dies, we'll start with Bernice, because you're a big fan of her.
I am.
So we'll look at that first.
I absolutely love her. Thank you for that. Yeah, she's probably one of my favourites of Chapter 2. Okay, well, I'm just going to recap some offers, and then we'll come back to you for a demonstration early doors, if that's okay.
Cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, sure. Fantastic.
Brilliant. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Thanks, Pete. He is so wonderful, so talented, and always so happy to join us here on CraftStash as well, which we love. Now, a couple of things while Pete just gets ready for his demonstration. I just need to mention to you right at the top, because I know some people have their lunch hours from 12 till 1, so I want to get these offers across to you now, so that you don't miss out if you do have to shoot off. And if you can't watch the whole hour, or if you're just joining us and you've missed the beginning, you can always catch up with us over on YouTube if you're not already watching there. If you hit that subscribe button, you'll always get a notification for when we're live as well, and you can go back and watch the entire hour later. Of course, it's always worth catching up live though, because you get to enter these competitions. Did I mention a £25 CraftStash voucher to 5 winners? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Yeah. So we have got the 15% off of Sizzix today. Okay, that's using the code SIZ15. Now that's off of Sizzix Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. If you're wondering, well, how do I find those particular products online? It's really easy for you, particularly today. I'm just going to actually take you over to the website just for a second to show you. If you go into craftstash.co.uk, as you can see here, on the front page, in fact, I'm just going to actually go to the front page for you just to show you. So as you can see here, we have this scrolling box. Now this is going to run you through all of today's offers and deals, and there's us, myself and Pete, but as you can see, we have 15% off of Chapter 2. Click on there. You do have the code on there, by the way, everybody, as well, if you didn't get a chance to jot it down. And as you can see here, we've got everything that's included in that offer, and so many of these already have money off them anyway. As you can see, we've already got £2 off of some of the dies there. We've got £1 off that one. There's just already discounts, and then you're 15% off as well. So that is just going to mean huge savings for you on Chapter 2. But if you keep scrolling through that carousel on the front page, you'll also get Chapter 1 as well, you can click into. So we've got that offer, and then we've also got National Stationery Week, which we've been celebrating all week, of course, as well. And if you've not already caught it, if you're spending over £30 on CraftStash at the moment, you are going to get a free stationery box that's worth $14.99. There's things like notebooks, like pens, like paper clips, like really beautiful luxury gift wrap in there as well. Like I say, worth $14.99, sorry, and you've only got to spend over £30 on anything. So if you are purchasing your Sizzix today, make sure you use your code to get your 15% off of your Sizzix Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, but then you can also get the opportunity over £30 to get that free box. That is absolutely like, offers galore coming at you, and there's no code for that box either. I've got one more offer for you as well. I'm going to talk you through, but I'm going to make you wait because I don't want to leave Pete waiting in the wings too long, because I'm desperate to get into his demonstrations, as I'm sure you are as well. So Pete, we are going to come back to you if that's okay and if you're ready. I saw these hands. Have you lost something already?
No. We're good to go.
You're good. Amazing. Always a professional. Thank you. I'm going to stop talking now, have a breather, and let you take it away.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you, Lou. First of all, you talked about Bernice. You love Bernice, and this is she. Now, the color was obviously applied using distress inks, various ones. The background dye is called Folk Floral. So that is one of Tim's lovely background dye. Again, Chapter 2. Now, in case you're wondering how these dyes work, these are what we call colorized. So they're very specific kind of dye. Now, if we look at that, that's the first dye, and then the second one lays on top of that. Now, in the dye itself, it etches these wonderful lines, so it makes it really easy, so there's no guesswork involved.
Wow.
And you can see it's very intuitive how to layer this up. And then we'll go to the next layer, and
look at that.
Finally that layer. Now, my friend's son was in the other day, and he asked me what I was doing, and I said, well, I'm making things with a hippo dye. And he said, oh, I like rhinos. And I said, well, you know what, I think Bernice would like to be a rhino some days, but even more so probably a unicorn.
I love that.
We created this. So
I absolutely love this.
Unicorn is a state of mind. It's cute, isn't it? And she's got a lovely sparkly horn. She's so proud. She's queen of the river that day. And that is Bernice. And of course, that is colorized. And we do have another colorized dye in the collection, which is Rupert. And there he is. Again, we've used distress inks to bring into life. Isn't he gorgeous? And then next up, this is just using the Sizzix cardstock, that lovely Sizzix cardstock.
Gorgeous.
So, and of course there's that folk flowers background again cropping up in a lot of these makes. So that's colorized, but I'm going to leave those to one side for a second, and we'll get on with the make, because today we are using a big dye, and it's called Retro TV. Now, what I'm going to do, this is matte board, mount board. It's a very rigid material, and that's why we love big dyes, because if you're into your fabric crafts, if you're into mixed media, if you want to cut heavyweight things, then big dyes are the way to go, because not only do they cut through these heavyweight materials, but you can cut multiples of cardstock, multiples of textiles, whether that be leather, whether it be cotton. It doesn't really matter. You always get a lovely clean cut, and you can see how well that's cut now. Isn't that great? And that is matte board. That's a really, really thick material. So those are the bits of my retro TV. Now, being Tim Holtz, we do have some wonderful domes which go with these. So if you make a shaker card,
oh wow, look at
something
that.
like that. So the dome fits inside that TV. Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh, that's amazing.
But we're going to do that in a second, because what I've done, I've actually got all my bits and I painted them with black acrylic paint. Now, what I want to do next, because I want to get a kind of a grungy retro vibe going on here. You can see these are brand new acrylics. I didn't check this before I started. So there's a little bit of black. And it's always the way, isn't it? It's always the way. It's like trying to find the end of that tape.
Oh no, never.
So, and I'm going to take a little bit of white. There you go. Now, I'm going to use my brayer, because I want to create a nice grey. So I'm going to go into the black then. And I want to create a sort of a mid-grey. And these are the Sizzix Creamy Acrylics from our effects range. So, and I'm going to try and take some of this off, because what I want to do is I'm going to go over my TV like that. So you can see I'm not getting perfect coverage. And the trick to that is by taking most of the acrylic off beforehand. Then I've cut an extra bit, which is the aerial, and then finally the little buttons, and I did have another one, so I'm afraid we're going to have to use our imagination until that actually turns up.
It'll
probably
be there
there it is. It's on the craft mat. They always turn up, usually after the broadcast, but they always turn up nonetheless. So there we are. So they're ready to go. Now let's take a drop more white, because what I want to do now, I want to lighten this up, because I'm going to do something with this, and something you can do with, as long as you've got the right acrylics. Now, I don't know about you, Lou, but it's very hard to get a really good white ink in terms of the way it works for coverage. So what I like to do, rather than use white ink, is sometimes I will use acrylic. Now, you could apply it with the brayer, or you could apply it straight from the mat, like so. So I'm going to come across there, like that.
I'd never think
so just a little bit
to stamp with paint like that.
Have you not?
Not for a long time.
Yes, I just invented it. Actually.
You did, yes. You could take that one.
No, I could. I wish I could remember where I stole the idea, but I can't. But there you go. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere. But so we'll add some more. So these are just text-based stamps. One's like a typewriter text, the other one's a script text. You can use whatever you have to hand. The thing is that it's all about the effect that you get, and this is more about creating a pattern.
This is brilliant.
So I've come in with some black ink as well. It's about the pattern rather than what it actually says. So I wouldn't stress too much about that. So we're gonna put this together, and I'll take a little bit of my Sizzix Express glue.
You've added so much texture to that. Sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine. And it does look great, doesn't it? And I'm not taking credit for that. It's just the way that the acrylics work, and and the brayer and everything. It's fantastic. And I hope you like the camera work today, Lou, because I have my esteemed colleague Josh on the cameras today.
Yes, we're getting a 2 for 1.
Who's no slouch when it comes to designing himself.
We are getting a 2 for 1
we
today.
Are indeed. We are indeed.
We actually saw
you got a glimpse of my face.
We did. We did get a little glimpse of Josh. I didn't know if anyone would notice or not. I noticed, and I giggled to myself. So everybody must say hello to Josh as well. It's lovely. We have sort of got 2 for 1 today. I don't think we can probably rope Josh into demonstrating as well, but we are more than happy with having Pete, as usual, doing it for us. He does such a fantastic job.
Oh, bless you, bless you.
I must read out...
I'm the master at
there you go.
Josh is the master, is he?
There you go. Now there's a TV.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
There. Now what I'm going to do from here, Lou, is I'm going to take my base card, because I've prepared a base card, and it says, "Here's looking at you, kid." I'm not going to try and do Humphrey Bogart, although we do share a birthday.
Do
But
you?
what I am going to do, we do, yes, and it happens to be Christmas Day. So
Oh.
Bogey was a Christmas baby.
I'll
There you
remember.
go.
I'll remember that.
Now, what I'm going to do, my doubt. Yeah, there's a lot of us about, more than you'd. Well, at least one in every 365.
Of
that's
course.
So I'm going to take the backing of this lovely dome, and the glue comes on it. Now, you can put some rattly stuff in here if you want to turn this into a shaker card as well. I've chosen not to today, and I've put some double-sided tape, so that's all good to go. And I'm going to peel that away. And then I'm going to place it behind, or rather in the aperture there. Now, there may be some card slightly hanging over it, nil desperandum. Don't worry about that. We just trim it to size with our scissors. And then finally, I'm going to take some Sizzix tape, and I'm just going to, actually, I'll tear it, because you can tear it or cut it.
Can
it's
you?
entirely up to you.
I've not found a foam tape that will tear before.
Oh, it's great. It's great for that, because you can actually do both. So there we are. There's our retro TV. Here's looking at you, kid.
That
looks so bad, but
that's brilliant. I absolutely love that, Pete. That is not the sort of card that I would think to make, but you've just given us all the tools, everything we need from Sizzix. And is that paint nearly dry on there already as well?
Yeah, it's absolutely dry. It's ready to go. It's a matte acrylic. It dries so quick, particularly when it's put on that thin. But you could, how about something like this? Now, this is as a shaker card. You're not old, you're retro.
Oh, I like
I'm not
that.
talking about you, Lou. You're in the full bloom of youth, obviously.
Oh, I don't know.
But imagine what you could do with your favourite TV shows, a photo of a loved one, something like that. Now, one of my favourite films growing up was Grease.
Oh, you and me both.
So there you go. You're the one that I want. I know, isn't it great? So again, we've used retro colours, we've used Sizzix cardstock, we've used the Sizzix opulence, good to go. But the what you can do with this die, it's pretty much endless. But that's the retro TV. We love it. I hope you do too.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Pete. I'm going to let you clean up your brayer and your mat, and presumably your hands a little bit as well. And I'll come back to you in a moment or two, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Lovely. Thank you, Pete. Isn't that just brilliant, just watching that all come together so quickly? I mean, I don't know what goes on up here. It's amazing. So that is just a small snippet of your Sizzix, Tim Holtz, your Chapter 2 there. If you want to have a look at or a play yourself with Chapter 2, you can absolutely be getting this 15% today. Now that's using the code SIZ, S-I-Z, 15. I don't know why I have so much trouble remembering that code, but if you're like me and you can't remember letters and numbers together, pop on over to craftstash.co.uk. On the front page, on the home page, we have this carousel with all of today's best deals going on. Now we have deals going on all the time, every single day over at CraftStash, so please make sure you are signing up for the emails, because that is the best way. I think it's about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, I get an email, one email a day, telling me about all the best offers and deals, but also reminding me about the live demonstrations we've got going on that day too. So make sure you sign up for those. Now, a couple of other things to mention to you. I did mention the stationery box. I'll quickly whiz over that for those of you who may have missed it. With any spend on over £30 worth of product today, you are going to get, say today, this week, it's stationery week, you are going to get a free stationery box added to your order that's worth $14.99. Now, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to add that into your basket. Once you go to checkout, as long as your content sort of apply for that, as long as it's over £30, you're going to get a pop-up that comes up, and that will automatically say to you, would you like to add, I think there's a choice of 2 actually, one of these stationery boxes to your order for free. You can just, if you don't want the stationery box, by all means, just pop the little X. You won't pay additional postage on that or anything either. That's completely free, coming to you. It's over £30 spend. So that's an amazing deal to take up as well to celebrate Stationery Week. Now, one more offer I have to tell you about today as well, before I move on to some of our comments. We've got so many comments, and I'm sorry I haven't read any out, and I will do that in just a moment. We have, of course, we're at CraftStash, huge supporters of Mental Health UK, And on Wednesday, the lovely Lou Withers did a craft along with us and with, of course, Creative Stamping. That's issue 93 that had the Mental Health UK cover mount stamp set on it. And she did such an amazing job of doing this beautiful mindful colouring. Did you catch that? Because you could have got 60% off of that magazine if you haven't already got it. 60%. That's using the code MH60. But we have also added in some more products to that code. So that MH60 to get 60% off. You're going to be able to also use that on some fantastic Daisy May stamps. 60%, that's more than half price, okay? More than half off the price. So Daisy May stamps, they can be found as well in that category. So go and search for those. If you're not sure whether what you've put into your basket qualifies for a particular code, the best thing to do is just go to your checkout and put the code in, and that will soon tell you whether you're getting that discount or not. I find that's the easiest way of doing it. So please make sure you catch up with Lou's Craft Along. You can go and watch that now on Facebook. You can watch that on, I believe it's on Craft World and on YouTube. I'll be corrected if I'm incorrect there. But then also use that code because that will be running out very, very soon. I think that is next Wednesday, so you've only got a few more days to use that 60% off. And today we're giving you the 15% off. Now, Pete, are you, I can see Pete, don't worry, could you give me a thumbs up if you're about ready for us to come back to you? I've got double thumbs up from Pete. Yes, he's ready. So shall we go back for another demonstration? Whilst Pete's demonstrating, I'm going to read through some comments to be reading out, okay? But don't forget, we're giving away £25 or 5 times £25 gift cards or gift vouchers for CraftStash, along with some wonderful cards made by Pete as well, and he does sign them, which is a bonus. So please make sure you're commenting whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. So Pete, you may take it away now if you're ready.
Okay, well thanks. It's great to be back. It's great to get my breath back because I was just breaking down from the last demo, and I said to Josh, "Oh my goodness, I forgot all my distress things." So I had to run out of the studio, through the warehouse, up the stairs, back down, and here I am. And look, barely out of breath.
Wow.
There you go.
You're fitter than I am, Pete.
Okay, thank you. Right, now I'm going to be using a die it's called Flower Field. It's another one from Tim Holt's Chapter 2. If you're a fan of Tim's The Wildflowers, and there's lots of those, this makes a wonderful background, a wonderful addition. But also it's stunning by itself, and we're just going to show that now. So I'll place it onto white card, and there's nothing I like better than starting off with just plain white card. Now, with our more complex die, we do recommend that you die cut face up.
Okay.
So it's a better cut. I don't know what the science behind that is, but the engineers assure me that it does work.
See, Pete,
so
I've always cut with my die facing upwards, and I have a theory behind this. I don't know if anyone wants. I do. I have a theory because, like I say, I've always done it. Do you want to hear it?
Go, please, fire away.
Okay, so you're big. I use big shots as well, so this is probably why it works. So you've got 2 rollers, haven't you? The top roller and the bottom roller, applying equal pressure. So when your cutting blade is facing downwards, in my mind, the pressure from that bottom roller has to go up through the thick plate and then the cutting plate as well before it reaches the die. Whereas when you're doing it the other way round, the pressure has only got to get through that one thin top plate before it reaches your paper and die to cut it. There's my theory. So I think you get better pressure cutting up.
You know, it works for me. It works for me. The theory works for me. The machine works for me, more importantly.
Absolutely.
One of the reasons that I do like to work face up is that some of the more complex dies, sometimes they might need a couple of passes. Now, if you have it face up, you can actually see if you've made a complete cut.
Yes.
So if it hasn't, you can go back again without taking it all out of the machine. You might lose register. But there we have it. So that's it, pretty much. Now you probably need your die brush and your pokey tool and what have you. And you'll also notice that it doesn't cut all the way to the bottom.
Okay, interesting.
Now that means you can do some pretty cool things with this, and we'll see how that feature works in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But here's one I prepared earlier, so you don't have to. But that by itself, wow, I love it. It's stunning. But we're going to add some colour. And I'm going to come in. And now normally you used to see people blend with the inks like that.
Yeah.
But what I'm actually going to do today is I'm pressing into it. And this gives you a little bit of texture. But it also means that you can get in more accurately. But I'm not after total accuracy. I'm not after that at all. Because, I mean, if I were, then it gives it a kind of stale look. I want colours to cross over.
Okay.
I want everything to be mixed and blended, because it gives it a more naturalistic kind of feel. So let's come in where this is an orange colour, that's wild honey.
Lovely.
And I'm also coming to that. So I'm looking to get some visual balance kind of thing between these colours. I'm coming in with, this is mustard seed, so I'll come with that mustard seed again on top of the wild honey. So by blending the two, you get a different tone completely. And then I shall start coming in with some of my greens. Now, look at the texture. I'm hoping you can pick that up there. Probably if I put it against white, you can see that this has real texture. So it's very different to the way that we normally do it when we're doing that blend, which is great. I'm not knocking that because it's a technique that I use all of the time. But I'm just coming in now with random inks. But I want fresh greens. I want very blue greens. I want very dark greens as well. So I want to get all of these different tones and I want to cross them over. I think people sometimes they'll use a single green, which is fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But look what I have. This is forest moss. Boom! How about that? This is a very dark, almost like a brown, and very, very mossy, as the name suggests. Coming in there. So again, but when you start to blend them, when you bring in, now this is, I think there's a bit of cracked pistachio. So this is going across. I know we've talked in the past about what our favourite colours of distress products are. Mine change all the day, but forest moss at the moment is really doing it for me.
Is that one you're sort of aiming towards a lot? You like that one?
Yeah, well, yeah. I just kind of like. I'm trying to find new blends that I can do with it and things like that. You know, it's a very, very interesting colour when mixed with others. Now, what I've done there. Now, there's going to be a lot of ink on the mat.
Yes.
So I'm going to spritz it. Now, normally at this point we would clean, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to dip this back into that ink, and I'm going to get it pooling, and I'm going to get it bubbling. And I'm going to get it really, it's going to pick up. It's going to start to blend all of those together. You'll get that reaction of the water, which is what we love so much about distressing.
Absolutely.
The way that they react with water, the way they blend together, the random nature of the product. And they were absolutely made to go with die cutting. So I've spritzed again. I've used my Tim Holtz distress sprayer, and I've spritzed into that. So let's turn that around. Now, that is going to dry naturally, and I've pre-cut a sentiment to go across the bottom.
Oh, that's lovely.
But when that comes out, it's going to look something like this. So once it's all done, once we've layered it up, and you can see that the colours I've used here are very different to the colours I've used there. Every time it changes. It depends on your mood. But there you go. We've got the forest moss. We've got this lovely blue green. We've got the bright greens again. But just some 3D pads, sentiment across the bottom. Sometimes that's all we need to do. You don't need to go over the top. But let me show you some other examples just quickly using.
Absolutely. Take your
this
time.
Now, it could be just... How about some black cardstock?
Wow.
So that's just using it as a silhouette. There's a nighttime there. There's a moon. I know Josh loves his moons and silhouettes. Now, how about this one? So this is black. Again, we cut two, then we trimmed them to size, and we've actually built it up to give some layers. And I've used luster wax, Sizzix luster wax, which is silver gold and rose gold gilding waxes, just to bring out the lovely detail there. Now, remember we said about cutting to the edge?
Yes.
It doesn't go all the way to the edge. What I've done here, I've actually trimmed this to size. So what I did, I pre-printed this sentiment. I cut over the top of it and just trimmed, tore on the bottom. Similar techniques, except this time we've gone all with greens. There's no other colours. That's just all
beautiful.
Green. And a lovely sun there rising first thing in the morning.
How about that? That's
I
lovely, isn't it?
absolutely adore those, Pete. All 3 cards are beautiful. They really are.
Thank you.
I love showing the other ways you can use each die as well. Are you good for doing, in a few moments, doing as a third demonstration?
What, to show you the different products in Chapter 2, or?
Yes, sorry, yeah. In a little while. Are you okay for a third
Sure.
demonstration? Yeah, just
Yeah,
checking
no
with you.
problem.
No running around the building while I'm not
Seconds,
here,
30
though.
seconds.
I will give you.
No, absolutely not.
I will give you a few more moments to get yourself sorted and set up. Thanks, Pete. It's quite funny because I can still see what Pete's doing whilst I'm talking to you, and whilst he was sort of off air as such, I could see him sort of, and go running off, and it was I was trying to hold my giggles in. So the things you see. So yes, I keep promising I'm going to do this, and for you all, I am going to be now finally reading out some comments. Hello to everybody. There's lots and lots of you watching. We've got some new people watching as well. I'll go through some of the more recent comments for you, and then I will recap those offers before we come back to Pete. We are whizzing through today. We still have about 25 minutes left of the hour, but I've got lots and lots to talk about. So hello to Christine Howard, who's popping in from her lunch break. Of course, lots of people's lunch breaks will start at 1 o'clock. So if you have just joined us in the last minute or so, welcome. We have just had the last 30 minutes with the wonderful Pete Hughes from Sizzix. We are looking at Sizzix Chapter 2 today. If you've been with us for half an hour, thank you so much for all your wonderful comments. We do have one more demonstration from Pete, and Pete is going to be, well, I did ask him earlier, I hope he still agrees, to sign and send us some of the fantastic cards that he is making, because we are going to be giving 5 of you commenting a £25 CraftStash voucher that will come to you via email. That's whether you're watching on CraftStash Facebook page or whether you're watching over on the YouTube channel. We will take people from both of those. But we are also going to send out, now Pete doesn't know this, I still have a couple of signed cards. He sent me about 10 cards last time, which was amazing, but we only had a set amount of people to send those out to. So we still have a couple of people left over from last time that we can send signed cards out from Pete. So we're going to have, so can you hear that? We've got Pete phoning back. I think we just lost him for a moment, but I think he's just come back in the room. Yes, we've got him back. So we have 5 signed cards from Pete to give away, along with a £25 voucher. So make sure you're commenting on that. Now, we also have National Stationery Week. It's been absolutely huge. Lots of companies have been doing things for National Stationery Week, because I think card making really does go hand in hand with stationery. And to celebrate that, what we've been doing is giving everybody who spends over £30 on CraftStash in a single transaction the opportunity to put in a stationery box into your basket completely for free. Now, this stationery box has things like notebooks in there, pens, things like maybe paper clips. There's 2 different colour choices as well. There's beautiful gift wrap in there as well. It is absolutely fantastic, worth $14.99, and when you do go to checkout, you can then choose which one of those 2 designs to put into your basket for free, providing you've got over £30 or more in your basket. Now, if you're spending that on Sizzix, don't forget you are able to use your code. Your code today is SIX 15. I do have problems, don't I, with remembering letters and numbers. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this. I really do have issues with this. SIX, as in the beginning of the word Sizzix, 15. That will get you 15% off of Chapter 1 or Chapter 2 today. Okay, so popping them in your basket. Now, you've already seen 3. We've seen Bernice the hippo, and we've seen Pete. Just remind me what the dragon was called, please, if you're still listening. Rupert. It should have been Pete's dragon, yes. It should have been Pete's dragon, but no, it's Rupert the dragon. We had Bernice, the beautiful hippo, stroke rhino, stroke unicorn, of course, however you want to build her up. We've had a look at that retro TV. We've had a look at the beautiful wildflowers as well, and I know Pete's got another demonstration for us in just a moment. So do have a look at Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 over on the website, and you can be getting 15% off of those. And lastly, anyone who was asking again about that Mental Health UK code that we've got for you to get 60% off of the Creative Stamping magazine. That's issue 93 that has the Mental Health UK cover mount stamps on it, or the Daisy May stamps that have been added into that code as well. So you can be stamping and colouring just as Lou Withers did on her craft along on Wednesday. The code is MH. Make sure I get this right, MH60. Okay, of course you can only use one code in any transaction, so I would definitely advise doing those as 2 separate transactions if you want to use the Sizzix code and the mental health code. Now, a few more comments and then we'll go back to Pete. Let me just scroll down. So now, yes, Karen Willis is right, it's SIZ15. I probably keep saying SIZX because 6 sounds right to me. SIZ. Imagine the word Sizzix. The code is the beginning part of that 15. Me and my numbers and letters is not good. So Carol Lewis has got fingers, toes and legs and eyes crossed. I think that's for Pete's cards. Joan has said, as Pete said, getting his autograph would be amazing. Do you know what? I don't think anyone's worried about the £25 gift voucher for CraftStash. I think everybody just wants Pete's cards. They just want his autograph. Debs Eves has said, fantastic demos. It's her first time here and she'll be coming back again. Lovely to have you here, Debs. As some other people I saw were joining us new today too. So welcome to you. Now, Pete, are you around about ready for us? Yes, I think he does this and says ready when you are. So it's like, yeah, I think he's ready. Well, thank you so much, Pete. We're going to come back to you now, and we look forward to a third demonstration. I will be quiet because I know there's a little bit of a delay for us and I don't like to keep talking over you. So by all means, take it away.
Okay, well, we're going to look at the rest of chapter 2 before we go into our final demo. Now, I'm starting off with a die. It's a gorgeous die, and this is called Folk Flowers. It's a background die, but it's very, very versatile. We've already seen it in the back of some cards. This one was just grey card, and there's some distressed oxide on it. Now, how about just going on plain or ivory card? Again, distressed oxides. I've chosen to use this, and a bit of brown in the background just to help those colours pop. Then this one, again, the same thing, but this time what I've done is I cut it into 4 little squares and matted and layered those together. And then finally, same thing, but just a strip, just add it to your card. It really is the gift that keeps on giving, a die like this. It is so, so versatile. We saw it in the back of Bernice. We're about to see it again, actually, because I'm about to introduce you to a new collection. Now, these are from Tim's Funky range, and these are the Funky Cactus.
Love them.
Or Funky Cactuses, I don't know, cacti. But that's just using plain old card. Now, this is using distress inks, again, to get the colour.
Gorgeous.
Oh, what's that background, I wonder? It's folk florals. And then finally, I do love little cards. I do. They make such a bold statement. Lots of white space. And just, again, using distress inks to really make that pop out. Now, numbers. If you are a card maker, you'll probably be making cards for birthdays, for anniversaries, and so on and so forth. How about a lovely big number set? Now, this is called Countdown. But we say it's big, but it works perfectly with some of the smaller alphabets. Now, let's have a look. This is from chapter 1. This is Tim